Hey, Brian Wall here with worshiptutorials.com. This is a guitar lesson for 4 of the major chords that you're going to use in the key of D to play most songs that are in the key of D. So I've done a few guitar lessons. This is the 3rd or 4th lesson in this series of guitar lessons that I'm doing. In the first one, we went over playing your first chord, which is a D, and we also went over how to hold the guitar, how to read a chord diagram, that kind of thing. So if you don't know how to do that stuff, please click through to get to that video, and they'll probably be up here in this video. I'll probably use it. If your annotations are turned on YouTube, you'll be able to click through to them. Then we went over all the 4, not all the chords, but the 4 major chords to use in the key of G, which are G, D, E minor, and C. And then we went through key of A. So we went A, D, E, and F sharp minor. So this is going to be chords in the key of D. And the chords we're going to learn today are D, G, A, and B minor. So we've already covered 3 of the 4 chords, so I'm going to spend the most time going over this new chord, B minor. I'm actually going to show you 3 different ways to play it, one easier than the other. 2 of them are easier than the bar chord, but I'm going to show you all of them. But really quickly at first, let's go over D, G, and A. And if I go too fast on these, go to those previous lessons where I go through them in a little more detail. So here's D, which we've done before. And so first finger, 2nd fret on the G string. 3rd finger, 3rd fret on the B. 2nd finger, 2nd fret on the high E. Mute the low E. And I like to wrap my thumb around and grab it. And that's your D chord. Okay? That is D major. You can also play, I call it a D2, where you lift your middle finger off, and so the high E string rings open. That's just a variation of D, and I call it D2. I think it's a D sus2 or something like that, but that's what I call it. The next chord is G, and we've done G before, so start with your 2nd finger, 3rd fret on the low E string, 1st finger, 2nd fret on the A string, 3rd finger, 3rd fret on the B, 4th finger, 3rd fret on the high E. That is your G. That is actually a variation of a G major chord. I'm not exactly sure what it's called, but that is G. Another way to play G major is to you basically leave the B string open. And so you would do 2, 1 on your 2nd finger on the 3rd fret of the E string, 1st finger, 2nd fret on the A, just like we did, and 3rd finger, 3rd fret of the high E. Another way to play it would be using 3, 2, and 4. That's your G. So you've got D, G, A is take your 2nd finger, 2nd fret of the D string, 1st finger, 2nd fret of the G string, 3rd finger, 2nd fret of the B string. All your fingers are on the same fret and they're on adjacent strings, so squeeze them together as close as you can and play an A. You want to mute the low E. Okay, so that's D, G, and A. Another way you can play A is let the B string ring open. It's kind of like I call that an A2, and it's kind of the same thing as a D2. It's an A2. It's a little more open sounding A. So let's move on to B minor. I'm going to start with the hardest, the bar chord. So to play the B minor bar chord, if this is your first bar chord, do not fear. There are other ways to play B minor, so you don't have to play it this way if you don't want to. But start practicing it, because learning bar chords is a good thing to do, and it will really improve finger strength and really open up the fretboard to you for playing songs. So let's start with the fingers that are not using the bar. Well, and just to explain what a bar chord is, it is a chord where you have one finger that holds down all the strings, and then you use your other fingers to shape a chord underneath it. Okay, so the B minor, we'll take our third finger, put it on the 4th fret of the D string. Take your 4th finger, put it on the 4th fret of the G string. Take your middle finger, put it on the 3rd fret of the B string. So it should be starting on the D is 4, 4, 3. Okay? If you notice, that's an A minor shape. It's just slid up 2 frets. Now what you want to do is take your index finger and lay it across all the strings, squeeze really hard, because you want your index finger to fret the low A and the high E. You're technically supposed to mute the low E, but I think it sounds okay in this chord. So, middle finger or index finger holds all the strings down, and then 3, 4, and 2 fingers make the chord underneath it. So that is the B minor bar chord, and there's your chord diagram. With that bar that goes across the fingers, that means your one finger is laying across all the strings. Okay, easy way to play it, number 1. Don't move your fingers, leave them where they are in the bar chord position. Now take your index finger off, okay? Put your index finger on the high E string, 1st or 2nd fret rather. So you're going to be mute, open, 4, mute, open, 4, 4, 3, 2. That's the easy way to play a B minor, number 1. You can also put this index finger on the 2nd fret of the A string, and it kind of has a different flavor to it, but there it is. And now the really easy way to play the B minor, and the way I often play it in the key of D. It sounds best to do this next variation in the key of D. It doesn't sound great in other keys that use a B minor. But put your 1st finger on the A string, 2nd fret. Put your 2nd finger on the G string, 2nd fret, and 3rd finger on the B string, 3rd fret, and mute the low E. So it's mute, 2, open, 2, 3, open. And there's the chord diagram. And it sounds like this. And it's just another variation of B minor. And it sounds really open, it's got a cool sound in my opinion, and works well with chords in the key of D. So if I put all these chords together, you've got D, G, A, and B minor. There they are. So those are your chords in the key of D that you're going to use for most songs. One song that I've just recently done a tutorial of that uses those 4 chords in the same progression just over and over and over again is You're Beautiful by Phil Wickham. So search for that on my YouTube page or go to Worship Tutorials and you'll be able to find it easily, the tutorial for that song. So you can use those 4 chords in a song right away, and I will have more lessons coming up soon. If you want private lessons, just one-on-one lessons, you and I can do that regardless of where we live if you have Skype or FaceTime or any other kind of video chatting application. So I offer those lessons currently for $20 a lesson, and they are 30 minutes long each. If you go to worshiptutorials.com, there's a guitar lessons link up at the top, and one of the drop downs says private lessons. There's a little form you can fill out. You can do that, and I will be in touch with you shortly about private lessons. So thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.